Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here at this channel, we just do fun reviews, recaps of our favorite shows, fun discussions. Please start this video out by clicking the like button if you like what we talking about. Tonight, we will be watching or reviewing The Kings of Napa season 1 episode 3. Okay, so please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video if you enjoy it. If you don't like it, you don't have to give me a thumbs down. You could just click off. Okay, but I hope you do like it, and I hope you comment. I really want you all to start commenting so we can really discuss these shows together. I would love to hear other viewpoints. So let's please have some dialogue in the comments, y'all. And also, one more time, click that like and subscribe button. All right, so let's get into this review. Kings of Napa. Sorry, I felt like my camera and lighting is a little off tonight. But anyway, before we get into the Kings of Napa review, just a quick update on myself. I am feeling better. Still a little bit of a cough. But other than that, I'm still doing better. But if you hear me clearing my throat a bunch, it's because still got a little something in there, but all good. Back at the 9 to 5, so super busy this week, but we pushing through. Okay, so let's get into this review. Also, yes, I did do my hair over the weekend since I was down here. Had nothing else popping, so it was time for a change. Anyway, enough about me. So, Kings of Napa, season 1, episode 3, right? So basically, this episode is about the wine off, right? And y'all know how we do these reviews. Sometimes we go scene by scene, might just be person to person, but we gonna get it all in, okay? So, the premise of the show, basically, is first it starts out with August making her dessert wine and doing all that. So the show opens up with August, and she has this lady named Grace. I don't think we've been introduced to Grace before, but correct me if I'm wrong. So Grace had her Erica Badu wrap on, okay, and her glasses, and a very colorful shirt. She's riding a bike all up and through the vineyard. Okay, so she came to meet August because August pretty much got her there under the pretense that she found her ring. Okay, so she's like, oh, you found my ring, oh my gosh. And then she was like, oh, remember when you used to work here, and girl, you was making the best wines, and you made wines for the Obamas and everybody, your dessert wines be popping. Like, girl, don't you want to get back up into these grapes? And so then she's like, like, girl, is that why you really brought me here? Like, did you really find my ring? Like, what's going on here? And then she was like, I found a prototype. And she was like, that's fool's gold. And then she was like, come on, I gotta make this dessert wine. We trying to save the company. Like, come on, girl, just get back down with these grapes with me, girl. And so then she's like, okay, like she wasn't trying to do it, but she gonna do it. Okay. So then we see Dana, August, and Grace walking through the vineyard, and Grace is looking at I believe it's like the Ganache grapes that she wants to use for the dessert wine. She's like a what do they call it, like a savant wine person. So she makes the wines, and do you know how they know how to blend it all together and all that, right? So she's like, I'm gonna need this, this, and this. She put a list together. She's like, I'll text it to you, Dana. So she texted the list to Dana. Dana was like, oh, hell no. Like, she was spending too much according to his budget, because, Dana got the paperwork on lock. So anyway, Dana's like, oh, hell no. So then August is like, chill, right? And so then she was like something, and then she was like, I'm gonna need another 5,000 for this, and he's like, girl, you spending too much. And Dana's y'all know how Dana is. He getting all up in arms, saying they spending too much according to his budget and everything. So anyway, but his budget is not correct. So anyway, the next scene we see Christian and Vanessa talking, and Christian is checking on his mom, like, oh, Mom's good to see you doing okay, but I see you still hitting the bottle. And she's like, arranging flowers. She's like, yeah, I still kept everything nice and pretty here, so I gotta still, hold up everything over here, and it's all good for me, and all this stuff, make sure it looks good. And he's like, oh, I'm glad to see you doing good, Mom. He was like, don't you worry. I'm helping the company. I'm going to be the best vineyard manager out here. I'm doing it. And so then she's like, you get real stressed out easy. Like, just take it slow. Don't overwhelm yourself. And so then he said something about his bipolar and saying, you know, I got it under control. I'm good, mom. Don't worry about me. And which I remember we talked about in the last video that I thought he was going to let us in a little bit more to his mental health this episode. And he did. We got just a little something. I feel like we're going to continue to get a little more and a little more and a little more. And there might be maybe a big incident. My prediction only. Okay. So then he's like, Mom, I got this. So then we see August and Dana talking to... I believe it was one of Dana's frat brothers. I can't think of his name right now. I want to say it was like Quincy or something. But anyway, so they're talking about being security. He's going to make him head security. And, you know, they want him to be, but they want him to be on the under about him looking for the extortionist person and figuring out who that is. So he's like, okay, if you want me to be on the under, it's going to be another $1,000. And then Dana's like, oh, I'm already being extorted because Grace was texting that she needed another 1,000 and all this to make this poppin' dessert wine. So anyway, he's like, well, we already getting sucked dry by another extortionist, okay? So he's like, okay, like, you know, I'm gonna do this for a favor for you because we frat brothers, but you know, it's gonna be some bloodshed. And he was just kind of weird or something. And then he had a yo-yo. And he, you know, did the thing, you know what they do with the yo-yos, y'all. And the ball goes down and up. I was never a good yo-yo girl. I used to try, I wanted to know how to do yo-yo so bad. And I would get it like once or twice. But you know, when people could really do all the yo-yo tricks, I always wish I could do that. Anyway, so then he playing with the yo-yo. It was just so random to me. It was just so random. So anyway, and he just seemed like maybe he was there for comedic relief. Anyway, so moving forward. Then we see Auntie Yvette around the house. She doing her marketing thing, trying to sell these wigs. She's talking to Vanessa. At one point, we see Vanessa is trying to figure out Reggie's stuff. So Vanessa like trying to get into the computer. She can't get into the computer. It's just not working out for her. So anyway, so then Vanessa went to Melanie's house to like try to talk to her and figure out like, girl, what was you really doing with my husband? Let's get to it. And so I don't think she wanted her trying to fight her or nothing though, y'all. So then Melanie, I guess, was not home or something. So Vanessa then crawled into the window of the house and trying to get up into Melanie's laptop. And then she hears Melanie coming in. So she ran ahead in the closet. So then from the closet, she can hear and see Yvette and Melanie was hanging out together shopping and stuff, okay? So then they over there having a good kiki, and Yvette is like, girl, I told you, like, not to be doing all this stuff with Reggie, girl, look at this. And she's like, I know, but, you know, you've been holding this, you know about this too, and all this stuff. And she was like, yeah, girl, back in the day, like, y'all used to come to my house. And she was like, you didn't cause the whole mess. And she was like, I know I want to talk to Vanessa, but it's like I can. And Yvette is like, girl, you need to stay away because this is causing all kind of trauma. And, you know, if Reggie was here, he would keep the family in line. And she was like, well, if Reggie was here, we wouldn't even be like, you know, exposed in this mess. Because, of course, he was going to keep his secrets to himself, right? And then she was like, girl, I know. And she's like, but, you know, the blessing is I had Bridget. And she's like, girl, I know y'all used to come to my house doing... So it sounded like Yvette was saying Melanie and Reggie used to come to her house and fool around and stuff. I'm like, ooh, this is just too much. It was too much. And so, of course, Vanessa is hearing and seeing all this. And now she see that Yvette didn't lie to her face because Yvette knew all the way back in the day. I'm just like, these people, older people from back in the day, be jacking stuff up. And then it's us kids who are adults now that got to deal with repercussions of these bad behavior from back in the day. This is a hot mess. So anyway, we're going to go back a few scenes to where we see August doing yoga with her friend, Dr. Maddie, and then Calvin came. Is his name Calvin or Calvin? We're going to just say Calvin for the purpose of this review. So anyway, Calvin came and he's like, you know, let's talk business, August. And her doctor friend is like, girl, he fine. I see why you over here tripping. Okay, girl. So then anyway, he was like, you know, we made a deal with your aunt and da-da-da, and you kind of reneged on it, and we signed the paper to say this, but then you went and did this, so, like, you know, we got to keep this, we got to make a decision right here to keep this professional right now. And then she's like, I apologize, like, it happened so quick. And then she's like, let me make it up to you over dinner, drinks, olives, martinis, olive branch without the branch. So I was like, okay, shoot your shot, August. And he, was like, for sure. So they went on a date. And then they talking, and she's like, you remember our first day? You remember my pet peeves? You remember this? You remember that? I think her pet peeves is like, she don't like long toenails. I'm like, girl, who do? So then they reminiscing, and, you can see the spark. You can see the spark. Okay, I'm still side-eyeing you, Calvin, but you cute. So anyway, then they're like, we would do a little nightcap, but I know you got to do your pitch for the wine. So we're going to get to that in a minute. So anyway, she gets the phone call from the extortionist, and he's like, oh, you enjoying your day? Don't be out there doing too much, August. And so he's somewhere there. He can see her, whoever is the extortionist. Okay. So anyway, so the reason why August is doing this wine pitch is Dana got fed up. Okay. Dana got fed up with all this money that Grace has costed. So he got his own winemaker who's like an up-and-coming African-American guy winemaker, and I'm assuming the proper term is Stephon, but anyway, we gonna learn all the terms and stuff by the time the show over, okay? So anyway, he decided to get his own person who can make the wines, and they would do it at a cheaper cost because they're up-and-coming, they're not as experienced and trained as Grace, and so he's like, I'm gonna have somebody make a dessert wine, and it's going to be cheaper and better than yours, August, and why don't we do the family vote like the bylaws say, like, because August was like, no, you're not about to do this, like, I'm the CFO, like, we doing it the way I say do it, and then Dana's like, Dad said we got to have a family vote, it's in the bylaws, so they talked to the lawyer who had read the will, and he's like, yep, you guys got to, gonna have to do a wine off and let the family vote. So then we got August dessert wine, and then we have this Dana's dessert wine, okay? Before we get down to the nitty-gritty of that final scene of the testing and all that. So then we have Bridget, she's looking for another job, and she's talking to Rose about, like, should I try to apply to another winery? I don't know. And Rose is like, you know what? You got to look out for you. Like, August made her business decision for her. Like, you got to do what's best for you. And they're looking at paintings, and Bridget and Rose decided to hang out at Bridget's house and have wine and stuff, and Rose is really impressed with Bridget's painting and all that, and Rose is telling her, like, yeah, I used to want to be a writer, I was writing a novel when I met Dana, but then, she was asking her, Bridget asked Rose, did you always want to do PR? And so she was like, no, like, I was writing a novel when I met Dana, but put all that to the side once I married him and started doing PR for the King Winery. So then Bridget was like, oh, girl, you got to find your voice. You still got to do you. And, don't worry about what Dana's doing. You got to still, because she's like, PR doesn't feel like your own voice. So I imagine, and Rose, that's how she felt. So they have like a little connection. I have some predictions for that, but I'm not gonna go there today. But I'm like, are they having a little spark? I don't know. Because Rose did say she was bisexual. Okay. We caught that. And she was, saying how she would write she'd write like a novel and a memoir about herself. So anyway, and her bisexuality was one of the things she was writing about. So then, okay, so moving forward, we do see August talking to the head security guy. They trying to figure it out. They're like, could it be Ernest, the head grounds guy? And August talked to him. She don't think it's him. I kind of think it could be him, but I'm not sure. Anyway, so they're like, oh, Dad had a malpractice suit. It could have been that person. We don't know. So anyway, moving forward, getting down to where the dinner's coming in, right? So Vanessa and invites Yvette to dinner. She's like, oh, she had her come to dinner early, like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna have you come to the family dinner early. And so then she's like talking to her. And then she gets into, like, I'm going to go high, like Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. And I'm just going to move your stuff out of here, out this house. And Yvette's like, girl, what? And, like, she's still playing dumb, like she don't know everything Vanessa is talking about. And then so Vanessa basically read her rights, like, girl, you knew this whole time, you over here keeping secrets about Melanie, and you knew your brother my husband was having an affair with my sister this whole time, and you never said nothing. You lied to me. Da, da, da. So I'm having all your. She's like, you hear that sound? That's the sound. All your being shit. All your shit. Nah, just kidding. All your stuff being moved out this house. Okay. So Yvette's like, girl, no, my wigs, no, my stuff. And she's like, oh yeah, that's how it's got to be. And she's like, oh, but I'm the marketing person. She's like, oh, you still gonna do the marketing, but you're just not gonna live here and do it, okay? So she basically kicked her out for lying and sneaking. And so then she's like, oh, Vanessa, I do keep secrets. I never told Dana that you almost aborted him. So of course, because that's how I go on this show, Dana came in right when she said that. So Dana's like, what, Mom? So then Dana ran and hid in the bathroom for 40 days, 40 nights. But anyway, not really doing that long. So he all, feeling some type of way. Rose is like, oh, come talk to Vanessa. He been in here for hours. And then he was like, we're going to have the wine off still, Mom. And da-da-da. So let's just get down to the wine off now. So the lawyer sits them all down. They taste the wines. August presents her wine. It's this, it's that, it's decadent, it's elegant, it's classy, it's expensive based, okay? So they taste the wine. Then Dana's is like, mine is very good. Has that classy thing. It's half the price. You're going to be able to order 2 glasses of his wine, he said. So they taste the wine. Okay. So the lawyer said of course, they vote. You know how they vote. So they vote for themselves. Okay. So then Christian votes for August, which I knew he would. And then the mom voted for Dana, but you could tell it was out of pity for her almost about to abort him when she was pregnant. So she's like, oh, yeah, Dana. But I was like, girl, you lying. You just voted for him because you felt bad. So anyway, then we have Auntie Yvette. She voted for August because she's like, I like, she like rich stuff. Put a bottle by her nightstand, she said. So then she's like, I'm sorry, Dana, I'm sorry. And then she did try to apologize about talking about him almost being aborted. And then he was like, all right, Auntie, I see. He was like, okay, Yvette. Like, she ain't even getting Auntie title out of him no more. She just Yvette. I was like, ooh, that's cold. But I get it. So then, let's see, who else? So then they said, okay. They decided to make Bridget the deciding vote, the split vote, because they went and got Bridget before all this and said, like, your dad and the bylaws, dad made you, because they're like, what if it's a tie? Dad made you the one to split the tie for the vote. And so first, of course, she's not feeling them like, ugh, like y'all won't hear y'all come and want something after y'all not hiring me back. So she did come and all that. So when she came, I already knew she was not voting for Bridget. I mean, she was not voting for August. Bridget was not going to vote for August. No God. So anyway, she votes for Dana, of course. And so then they're like, so Dana was like, oh, that's right. Like, I won. And so then August was like, oh, no, the lawyer said, well, we didn't have Rose vote. And so I didn't understand that because I thought Rose was naturally going to vote. But then once she didn't, I was like, well, maybe because she's not technically biologically a king is the reason why I thought maybe not. But I'm glad they did have Rose vote. And Rose said, sorry, Dana, but I'm going to have to go with August. And so Dana, of course, gets mad, like, you're my wife. Like, what about loyalty to die? And so she's coming from a business sense and a PR sense of, like, August's wine goes along with our brand. Like, we have our wines in all the top shelves, all the fanciest restaurants, all the fanciest hotels. So it would go better to go with August's wine because that's in line with our brand and your wine is not. And I told you, because she did ask him, like, are you going to make your wine unique and stuff? Or are you just doing this to be doing something? And of course, Dana just doing something to get back at August. And Rose can see right through it. And so she was like, and he was going off on her, like, I just found you spraying at the Calvin Klein counter. Like, you wasn't that when I met you. I said, oh, no, you didn't. He about to show his whole backside to her. No, you didn't. Rose had it going on before you. Don't do that. Don't do the Rose. Don't do Rose, Dana. So anyway, she's like, no, I have to have my voice, okay? And so that was it. So August's wine won, which I thought that Dana was going to win based on the previews and the way things are going. So kudos for August. She is still in control. She's still doing it. So then we see the end scene. Dana talks to the head supervisor guy. I'm just going to call him Quincy for now until I fully know his name. And he's like, hey, I need you to dig up all the dirt on August because he want to take August down. Y'all know Dana just angry and bitter. Just angry and bitter. Anyway, that was it, y'all. I got to quickly upload this and get to bed so I can get up early and go to work and do it all over again tomorrow, all right? Anyway, please like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know what you guys think of the episode, what you think of this video. Also, please don't hesitate to subscribe. I lost my train of thought, y'all. Oh, your predictions for next episode. That's what I was about to say. Who do you think the extortionist is? All right. See y'all soon. Bye.